Okay, I think 7 is pretty much computational. For the data set below, determine the least squares regression line and compute the sum of squared residuals. So let's do the regression line first. So the regression line, that's the line that best passes through the points. So both Excel and StatCrunch are good at doing this. Let's do it in StatCrunch. Okay, stat, we're doing regression, simple linear. X was the X, Y was the Y. Compute. So there are two things here. Here is the equation of the line. Y equals something and something X. Remember, the thing in front of the X is the slope. So this is a little tricky because StatCrunch lists the two terms in the opposite order that MyStatLab does. If you have two numbers, of course, you can list them in either order. So the number in front of the X is minus 0.64. And the number in front, the other number is 131.2. StatCrunch also has a little picture. So here's a picture of the 5 data values and the line, the fitted line, the regression line. So you see the regression line does pass through all the points. There's not very much variability around the points, and we have a very high correlation, 0.98. This is unrealistically high. Very rarely do we see anything that's that high. Okay, so that's the first part. Sum of the squared residuals. I should have kept that report up. I'll do it real quickly. Regression, simple linear, X and X, Y and Y. First, let me explain what it is, and then I'll show you where to look for it. So say we have a regression line like this, and say this is one of the actual data values. Okay, it's not letting me write. Right? Come on. Okay, so that's one of the data values. So this is the error. This is the residual. That's how far off we are in our prediction. So whatever this number is, we square it. Okay, try again. So we take the residual at that point. We take another one of the data values, look at the error or residual here. And we square that. So we square all the residuals and add them together. So that's what the problem means. Sum of squared residuals. We square each residual and sum them, add them up. Okay, sum of squared residuals, where is that on the output? SS stands for sum of squares. MS stands for mean square. SS sum of squares, the residual and error mean the same thing, so it's this number here. 17.6 is the sum of squares of the errors. 17.6. So what that means is we looked at the graph and looked at how far each of these blue points is from the red line. We take each of those distances, square them, and add them together. We would get 17.6. Okay.